Republican presidential candidate John Kasich was in the Twin Cities today.
He sharply criticized the president's handling of the Belgian terror attacks. Kasich said the president should have cut his trip short to Cuba and returned immediately to Washington. The Ohio governor is trailing both Donald Trump and Senator Ted Cruz in the race for the GOP nomination. Esme Murphy is here with more on what Kasich had to say today. Esme?
Well, Liz, Ohio Governor John Kasich is way back in the delegate count, but with his sharp criticism of the president and his continued insistence that he is the only GOP candidate who can win in November, Kasich is trying to get Republicans here and across the country to give him a second look. Just before a fundraiser at the Minneapolis club, Ohio Governor John Kasich blasted the president.
If I were in Cuba right now, the last thing I would be doing is going to a baseball game.
President Obama did, in fact, attend an exhibition game in Havana. Earlier in the day, the president did speak with Belgian's prime minister and vowed the U.S. would continue to work with 60 nations to defeat ISIS. Kasich said aerial attacks are not enough. He'd send ground troops.
We need to assemble a coalition very much like the coalition we had in the first Gulf War, made up of our Muslim Arab friends, along with our friends in Europe.
Kasich's remarks appeared almost temperate compared with those of his rivals. Donald Trump today called for waterboarding of terror suspects, and Senator Ted Cruz said he would empower law enforcement to patrol and secure Muslim neighborhoods.
I actually think that Trump has sort of cornered the issue of security, and the polls are suggesting that.
Professor David Schultz says polls have consistently shown that among GOP voters, Trump comes out on top on issues involving terrorism, and that the Belgian attacks will likely reinforce that.
I think it's going to be very hard for Kasich to be able to sort of edge in on this issue and sort of, outmaneuver Trump on it.
Now, during his visit, Kasich also made an appeal for Senator Marco Rubio's 17 Minnesota delegates, who are now free agents, to support him. And while Kasich predicts Trump won't have enough delegates to win the nomination, an awful lot of party officials admit privately the odds are growing that Trump will have the numbers to secure the nomination.
So what about Minnesota Republicans? What are they saying, Esme, about Kasich? Any support there?
Well, privately, most are saying he really doesn't have a chance, but they also agree this is a year unlike any other, and that if there is a brokered convention, anything could happen.
Oh, we've seen that already. All right, Esme, thank you.